guys, Ryan the Nerd here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Studio Series Bumblebee Shockwave. I found this guy at Walmart, and a lot of people have been saying, did you know that the studio, the Hasbro and Takara, they made a Studio Series Bumblebee Shockwave figure? Did you see that? Yes, I did see it, okay? I'm not an idiot when it comes to Transformers figures, okay? I know when figures are coming out, but I'm glad that they decided to even do this figure, because a lot of people were wondering if this figure was even, if the Shockwave was going to become a figure in the first place, because he had such limited screen time and only had like 2 lines. But I'm glad that they decided to do this. But the one thing that I don't understand is why they decided to make him in a core class. I mean, for a character like Ravage, which he's a core class figure, and you can go check out that review if you want to. It makes sense that he's a core class figure because he's smaller and he can actually fit into Soundwave. Hopefully I can find the Studio Series Bumblebee Soundwave. I hope I can find that figure. But I don't know why they decided to make Shockwave a core class figure. It doesn't make any sense to me. But the fact that we even have a Bumblebee Shockwave figure in the first place is just amazing. I know there are some third-party figures that are bigger and are more screen accurate than the Studio Series figure, but that's third party and they pay a lot of money for those figures. But I'm glad that we even have a Shockwave figure at all. The box is pretty much the exact same box that Ravage came in. You got Studio Series, the nice picture of Shockwave there. On the back, you got a picture of Shockwave. On the back, you have him in his alt mode. Nice picture of Shockwave. And then on the back, you have a picture of Shockwave. And then in the inside, you have some more Battle of Cybertron detail in there. But we don't care about that, do we now? No, let's take a look at the actual figure himself. Here he is, and my god, this is a lovely representation of Shockwave. He is pretty spot on to the CGI model. The only thing that's not accurate is the treads on the underside of his arms here, because he never transformed in the movie. He only appeared for 2 seconds and said 2 lines, and that was pretty much it. But they had to give him some sort of alt mode, which I can't really fault for him. But yeah, this figure is lovely. I love this figure. This is a pretty damn spot-on representation of Shockwave, especially with the head sculpt. The head sculpt is just amazing. Really captures his character from the movie. The one thing that I don't like is that the purple that they used, the color purple, I wish it was a little bit darker. Not a little bit darker, a little bit lighter, because in the movie he was kind of a little bit brighter of a purple than this kind of dark plum kind of color. But anyway, like Ravage, the amount of mechanical detail and paint applications, despite how small he is very, very impressive. The amount of detail on here, you can see some really nice bolts and really nice detail, especially on the gun here. You can see some gears and rivets and stuff like that. Really nice silver paint for the gun there. Really nice. On the back, you can even see some really nice mechanical spinal detail. And that gray section right there looks amazing. Got some really nice tread detail there, and even some of that wheel detail in there. Really nice foot detail there. I don't want to spend too much lawn on the foot because that's just weird. The one thing I do like is that these really cool curvy pieces right here for the legs here. Really nice, that curve there. And you got some really nice chest silver and some pink for the chest there. I need some more silver on there. Really nice how it folds down like that. It's really nice. It gives them more of an angular look. Really nice silver and yellow for the head there. And some more silver detail for the antenna there. Really nice. Captures his character from the movie perfectly. Really nice. Really like this. Comparing to Ravage here, as you can see, pretty cool size there. I think that Shockwave has a lot of more mechanical detail than Ravage, but they are really damn spot on to their film counterpart. Really nice. The one thing that I don't like is that his cannon actually his arm cannon came separately in the packaging, and you actually have to attach it onto his hand, which that's just blasphemy. I would have preferred if it was like that. But I'm glad that they kind of made it kind of droop down just a little bit, so you can't really see his hand. But if you flip it like that, He clearly looks like he's holding his gun, which that is blasphemy. Shockwave does not hold his cannon. His arm is literally his cannon. So that's just stupid. But other than that, doesn't really bother me. For articulation, what does bother me is that they don't have a ball joint for the head. They just have a swivel. So, yeah. You got some rotation, in and out, bicep swivel, and a bend of the knee, and another swivel. So there's like two swivels and like two swivels and one bend and one arm, which that's pretty crazy, but it does get annoying when transformation. We'll get to that later. But he can kick that far and move back that far. Kind of the, since how thick his legs are, it kind of gets in the way. Got some shifting leg pieces there. That's more for the transformation. He's got a bend at the knee and a foot bend. No pivot, but his feet are molded in a slight curve, so it kind of simulates a pivot. And no waist swivel, but articulation on this guy is pretty standard, but the only thing I care about is if he can get into a classic, cannon standing menacingly pose like that or something. Ravage actually has a little bit more articulation than Shockwave, which is pretty crazy in my opinion. But anyway, enough rambling. Let's move on to the transformation. So what you want to do is that you want to take off his cannon there. Now he's just standing like that, so it's just the Shockwave with no cannon. You can have that if you want, but of course everybody wants that. And for some reason, I don't know if it's just my copy, but it kind of looks like mine is a little bit bent. Like this part right here is a little bent up. I don't know if that's just how it's supposed to look, but it just looks weird. What you want to do is that you want to bend these legs down like that. The joint that I mentioned, fold down these feet here, untab the chest area, and this is actually on a hinge joint, so it kind of gives like that curve that I mentioned. Unattach that, flip that down, and then that's going to tab into his butt there. And then there are some pegs on the side of his chest that will connect into those little holes that you see there. Kind of bend with the that. Fold these. Use the kind of fold that all the way down. Then for here, you want to flip this hinge joint upward. It doesn't snap in. There's a groove in there that looks like it's going to snap. Okay, there we go. There you go. I thought it wasn't going to snap in. And then, this is going to be a little tricky here, but there's a groove here and a little tab there. What you want to do is that you want to only twist the bottom swivel, like so. Come on. It's a little bit tricky, but since there's so many swivels, I do appreciate how many swivels they have in one arm, but it just makes it a pain in transformation. But once you get the hang of it, plug that in, fold that down, kind of like that. Like that. Like so. I don't know why this arm is not doing so well over here. Then you want to turn around his head, bring back the cannon, flip up this tab here that I tabbed into his hand in robot mode, and plug it into the back of his head. Like so. And now you have him in his Cybertronian tank mode, which, even though that never appeared in the film, I really do like how this figure looks. They kind of took inspiration from Transformers Prime, because in that show, Shockwave transformed into basically this. So yeah, look-wise, it's very nice how they still have the treads there. What doesn't look great, on my opinion, is this. I hate how this looks. I wish they never flipped around his head like that, because that just looks stupid and ugly, especially with these feet here, his arms here. Even though there are treads that simulate another, back thing, it's just his hands, they're just too obvious. And the head here just makes me angry. I don't know why they decided to do that. What they could have done is that they could have turned his head around and actually made his cannon, the tab, flip over his head, so his head would be like this. Flip it like that, And then since it's a little bit droopy, I'm going to take this off so it's a little bit more easier to explain, but there you go. They could have done this, flip the head like that, and they could have like made it like a ball joint so it would rotate, and the tab would be on the other side, so it would tap into the back of his head like that. And since that it has a little bit more droopiness it would hide his eye a little bit. Actually, that looks kind of stupid, but I mean, it's better than that. It's better than this. But what's really cool is that the turret, I guess you could call it, actually has some articulation. Since it's a part of his head, it can rotate, and since there's a hinge joint, it can actually move up and down, which is actually pretty cool. But that's the only good thing about this mode. I feel like Ravage had a way better alternate mode, and that alternate mode was just him squanched up into a Minecraft block. But this is just kind of bad, in my opinion. I don't want to hate on it too much because it is a core class figure, but I have seen some core class figures transform into some crazy stuff without that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like, leave a comment. I don't care what you do, but you guys know what time it is. So, bye, guys.